Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be a mellow video. I just had major surgery done and I am recovering. I had it done on Tuesday. Today's Friday. And so I've been sitting in bed. This is the first time that I've carried myself away from my bedroom and I'm doing something other than just sitting up in bed or going to the bathroom. I've actually asked for food today, as opposed to people force feeding me. You know, like how you sit in bed when you're recovering from something and you just start buying stuff. I went crazy. I have been buying so many things. Not that there's been a ton of new releases. I mean, there are kind of, but mostly just me going, okay, I'm gonna sit here and really get in depth into all the stuff that I really wanted to pay attention to and all the stuff that I really wanted to try, and now I'm gonna do it. And so I've been branching out. It's kind of one of those out-of-body experiences where you feel like, why do you waste so much time not doing the things that you want to do or trying the things that you want to try? And so that's kind of how I have felt laying in bed. I have placed so many orders and I wish that I could do a haul video so that I can show you guys everything that I got, but it's gonna have to wait until Tuesday because not everything was available for same-day delivery. This video is about the new Makeup by Mario concealer, and I really want to give this a good test. So I came on with a bare face. We're gonna apply the concealer pretty early in the makeup game or makeup steps, and then we're gonna see if it creases or just how it looks. It takes me a while to put on my makeup. I'm sure it's gonna take me a lot longer today to get it on. So we're gonna put this on pretty quickly. So let's go into the product description just a little bit. He's calling this the SurrealSkin Awakening Concealer. It does retail for $29. I got mine in the shade 160. It comes in 22 different shades, and 160 is described as light cool. That's usually fine. I can do light with neutral undertones. I can do light with cool undertones. I'm examining the packaging to see if it's similar to the foundation in that it had the very small sparkles in it, but I don't see it in here. I see it maybe slightly pearlized, but it does not have the same sparkles. It is a glass component. It looks, where's my foundation? It looks just like the foundation, which we will be putting on today. So I told you guys it came in 22 different shades. It retails for $29. And a little bit about it, it's supposed to be a natural finish, medium coverage, good for acne, blemishes, good for dark circles. It's supposed to be long wearing, a pro performance multi-use concealer that visibly lifts, blurs, and brightens your under eyes and complexion for awakened appearance. Pretty simple and straight to the point. If we're gonna do a basic light makeup day, I'm gonna do very minimal eyeshadow, but I'm gonna go into the foundation that I have, which is in the shade 5N. I'm gonna apply that first, and then we'll go into the concealer. I have been absolutely miserable for the past 4 days sitting in my bed, but I've also been trying to work. I've been working every day for several hours a day, just off and on. I've taken meetings. We have open enrollment coming for health insurance, so of course I need to be on those meetings or rolling out 401k. This is just not the time to be down and out. And so I have been on my heavy narcotic medication, just taking these meetings, sounding terrible, I'm sure. Honestly, it takes my mind off of things to at least sit in bed and do something. I also had 2 videos that I had in the pipeline that I was editing, so I ended up getting those up while I was out. You don't want to see what's going on from the boobs down. I'm in a full body suit here. This is a pretty glowy foundation. I haven't touched it much since I got it. I like it. It's very medium coverage with a very natural kind of radiant finish. I don't remember it being super long wearing, but I do like it. All right, we're going into the concealer. I did open this already, you guys, and the only thing that I kind of noticed right away was you know the LYS packaging on their concealer, how it kind of gets stuck in the stopper? It was doing that a little bit. It is a flat paddle, which I do really like in a concealer. I just like the way that feels under the under eyes. Just not like a fat doe foot applicator, but one that's a little bit smaller. This is definitely a pinky-ish shade on me. It has some tack to it. It's a little bit of a sticky formula. All right, we're going straight into the concealer. And I'm gonna start with one eye. I'm gonna use the same brush, I think. All right, well, this shade in 160 has a little bit of a rosy tone to it. I don't know if I love the shade on me. I feel like I should have gotten one with neutral undertones instead of cool, but it's all right. It's pretty medium coverage, and I can see its little bit of radiance. Honestly, It feels a lot like the foundation, just in a concealer form. I'm just gonna drag it across my eyes as well. Might as well. Well, it's definitely medium coverage, and it was very easy to blend in. There's no real surprises or anything that really stands out to me with that. So the big test for me is gonna be, does it crease as we sit here and like continue to put on the makeup and to chit chat about stuff. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna chit chat. I'm gonna set this down very slightly. I'm gonna set my whole face down very slightly. I've been trying so many blushes lately that one of the things that I ended up buying were like, I went on basically a makeup brush haul and bought a ton of new brushes. Really, now that I know what style I like. When I first started my makeup collection, I really didn't know what kind of brushes were good. I didn't know what I liked, you know, just what my preferences were, what kind of products I was gonna end up using. So I wasn't as picky. And I recently did just a blush declutter when I kind of did like a vanity makeover. And I ended up getting rid of a ton of brushes and then kind of realized like I need more of this one type, one style of brush. So that's what I did. I kind of went online and I went high end. Sigma was having a sale on a bunch of their brushes. So I got some Sigma brushes. I got some brushes from Amazon, but I picked up a ton. So one of the videos that I'm going to do is like a full brush declutter. I'm going to do like an organization of my brushes. I need to get like eye brushes and face brushes. Like, look at how they come. I just shove them in here. I want to have like different containers. I know that seems silly, but when you spend so much time filming and playing with makeup, you really do need to be organized. And these get so dirty and I don't change them out because I really don't have any other brushes to change out. Like once they get dirty and I put them over there, it feels like you need 3 in rotation at all times. I'm actually going to do my brows with something that's new, and I've tried this off camera for the first time. This is the Kosas Brow Pop Nano. This one is in the shade medium brown. It's an ultra fine detailing pencil, and it is the smallest tipped pencil I have ever used. It does come with a little spoolie on one end. I feel like they basically all do at this point, but it's so small. It's teeny tiny, but the shade is amazing. The formula is amazing. So far, I'm really loving it. Even though it's really, really fine and it takes a little bit longer, you can get super precise with this. Like, it looks very natural looking, just very natural looking hair strokes. I am so far just loving this. And mostly the tone is what gets me. Like if you can nail the tone, I can get along with a bunch of different formulas. But this shade in medium brown is so perfect for my brows. It's basically like the same color as my hair. It's just such a good, like, cool tone color, and I don't find a lot of companies do a really cool tone color. And if you guys have watched any of my other videos, you know I have been on the serious hunt for an eye pencil that's like microfine, because that's what I like, that is matching my shade, that is just less expensive than the $25 Benefit Precisely My Brow. I think this one retails for $22, so it's a stretch. It's not much less expensive, but I would like to try other brow pencils that aren't the Benefit Precisely My Brow. And I haven't been having a whole ton of luck lately. A lot of them have not been the greatest shade, or when they're a nice shade, they're a terrible formula. So my point is, this one, for the first time in trying a ton of them lately, I feel like nails both the formula and the shade. If you guys are familiar with the Benefit Precisely My Brow, honestly, it has a really similar formula. And I don't know if it's easy to tell when I'm applying it, but it's definitely a middle of the spectrum here in terms of creaminess and in terms of dryness. The only thing is this doesn't claim to be waterproof. And in Florida, I really do try and get the waterproof ones because you sweat so darn much. I'm having the hardest time seeing right now. I think I did an even job. I don't know. It takes me a little bit longer, but it's still a really good pencil. I'm gonna go into the Laura Geller The Delectables Earthy Essentials palette and just do something like really neutral on the eyes. I also picked up a new one of these like eyebrow switches. I've definitely like worn the center of this out, plus it's kind of on the dirty side, but I also move it from here to where I put my makeup on every single day. So I'm like constantly looking for it. So I ended up getting a couple more of those just so that I can have them in different places. Just having one and then like looking for it when I'm trying to do my makeup in a different area of the room just seems silly. They're like $4. Ended up getting a couple more. The makeup brush video I'll definitely do sometime soon. Plus I'll do a haul video because I got so much new makeup that I hauled. Man, I even was hauling perfumes. Like, I am not big on wearing perfumes. I used to be, but I haven't been in years. And I wear the same one from Sol de Janeiro. And I was like, you know what? Why am I not buying perfumes? I usually just use like the free testers that I get with Sephora. So my scent is constantly changing, but I don't put any emphasis into trying to find like the scent that I really enjoy. So I bought some new releases. I feel like I got one from Burberry that just came out. And they had like a set, like a mini set. And then I got one from Cali. Do you say it like that? Cali or Kaylee? It's the Huda Beauty one. Some of those get really good reviews. So I'm really interested to see what the scent is. She's got one that's like pistachio, that's like a bestseller. Like, I have no idea what that would smell like. Something pistachio. I can't even imagine it in my mind's eye. I did not end up picking that one up. She has some other ones that seemed like floral and vanilla. So I wanted to try those. I ended up getting one. I can't remember which one. Whatever one was available for same-day delivery. I just skipped the other one that wasn't available for same-day delivery. And I really wanted to try the one from Gucci, the Blossom one, but I didn't end up getting it because they were really expensive. And I was like, maybe not. You know, the concealer's not creasing yet, but it's not like perfecting my under eyes either. It doesn't seem to like smooth them out either. I don't know yet. I have this like thing on my neck here. Let's see how this concealer does with concealing this. It's not really a good shade for me to spot conceal. It's kind of on the pink side. I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm getting to the point where my chin is really starting to bother me. Just right here. Like, please. Gravity is starting to really suck. All right, I'm gonna throw on the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This is basically his cream bronzer. I kind of put this in my project pan. That's another video that I wanna do, is I bought a bunch of extra containers that are like, can I scoot over? The ones that are right there that I use that are like the clear acrylic squares, rectangles, they're not squares, that I put all my like testing new makeup in. But I keep all of the makeup in my collection in these drawers. Even if I'm keeping it for reference, it's not something that, you know, I like reaching for all the time, but I use it as like, okay, I'm gonna do a dupes video or whatever, you know how YouTubers do it. I guess I'm doing the same thing, just things that I really want to keep because they might be of use in some video later on, but then I don't reach for them all the time. And I'm coming to find, like, even though I love testing things, I still want to wear or get a ton more use out of the stuff that I really enjoy, and I get away from that. So I end up wearing products all the time that I just don't care for, and I don't want to feel guilty about it. So I bought all those containers so that I could move the products that I don't absolutely love into that section and into my closet, and keep the stuff in my vanity that I really like, that I really enjoy, that I want to wear all the time. Where's the blush? Blush is literally right in front of me. So I'm going into one of his new Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veils. This one's in Barely Blushing. All of his stuff is just really kind of natural and dewy. I mean, at least the foundation and all these like cream products, they just make me feel like I'm not trying too hard, and then I'm just like creating this natural effervescentness. I mean, he has some products that definitely are a little bit more punchy, but I really enjoy these Soft Sculpt products and the Soft Pop one. I don't know, I've been really enjoying his stuff lately. So to compound on that, I'm gonna do a declutter video where I'm actually going to declutter the stuff that I really don't want to keep in my collection. That's gonna be a full-scale declutter video because there are some things I know that I need to get rid of. And like, those are gonna be things that are, the shades will absolutely never work for me, so there's no reason to keep them, or I just honestly hate the formula and they're not super popular products, and so I'm totally gonna declutter those and give those away to people that they might work for. But I'm also gonna do a declutter in the sense that the stuff that I don't want in my collection permanently, that I actually wanna get a ton of use out of, I'm gonna put in those bins in the closet. And then it's gonna kind of go in conjunction with a project pan, because I'm gonna pick out some of my favorite products, and I'm really gonna try and use up some of my favorite products. And this Makeup by Mario one, like, this was in there. I've been trying to use this like exclusively so I can get like a good dip in it. I don't know, I'm trying to project pan a couple of things, but I haven't pulled enough out. I've pulled like 2 or 3 blushes and bronzers and like nothing really else that needs to just kind of be sitting up on my vanity. So the point is I want to get through like a full project pan. Like I want to pull out lip products, I want to pull out like everything and then really pan it, especially the stuff that's on the lower side. So I'll probably do like the project pan video in the same video as I do the declutter video. I just have a literal ton of ideas of the different videos that I want to do. I have a ton of stuff just sitting here. I ended up picking up the remainder of Cali Ray's line that I didn't already have. I picked up the new iconic London concealer, and then they had this precision duo contour pot. It is so small, you guys. In the picture I thought it was like a full size like this. That's how it looked, and then it got here and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's so tiny. It was so tiny. Let me show you. Let me just take it out just for funsies. And yeah, look at this little baby thing. It was on sale for $14.50, and it feels like they're both cream products. I don't know, this top part kind of came smashed, but the duo is like, it has a cream and a cream, like 2 creams. I don't know. I've been liking iconic London products lately, so I thought I could try the new concealer basically the way that I'm doing the Makeup by Mario one now, which is like an almost full face in addition to their new release. So no creasing yet. It's just not smoothing. It's not perfecting. It doesn't fill anything in. Sometimes my favorite concealers are like silicone based, like, in that they kind of fill in my lines and like smooth out my under eyes. Some of my favorite concealers are legitimately smoothing on my under eye. Like they just make my under eye look ageless and younger, and I don't think this one is doing that. It's just fairly medium coverage with kind of a lightweight formula. I would say it's not overly lightweight. I almost want to say like it's medium weight. Like that's how it feels on my skin. And even here, let me show you. Once it dried down, like this is the shade I just swatched on top of it, but you can see it sitting there. Like it's not an overly hydrating formula either. And sometimes that's really what it takes to kind of smooth out the under eyes, in my opinion, is that it's definitely a more hydrating concealer without it being overly radiant or a super dewy finish. I'm just not getting my socks knocked off is kind of what I'm saying on this concealer, you guys. And by the way, I was going into the Come Hell or High Water mascara from Cali Ray. It's a volumizing mascara, but it's one of the reasons that I ended up picking up so much more stuff is because I really enjoyed the skin tint, and then I enjoyed the peptide smoothing blurring primer. Then I tried this mascara and I liked it, so I got the rest of their line, like everything else that they had on Sephora that I didn't already have, because I had the other thing, the face palette, but they just came out with new blushes, lip and cheek tints. So I purchased 2 shades of those, and I thought I could kind of do a video just like this where I'm testing the cheek tints, but I'm also kind of doing like a full face of Cali Ray. I'm gonna throw on a more recent launch of his, the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Color in Smoky Pink. I love these, you guys. I love these. I feel like I'm one of the few people. I just really enjoyed this formula. But it's so smooth and beautiful, and it's like the less goopy version of those Moisture Glow Plumping lip balms. And it doesn't patch on me. I've seen some people say that. I think these are great. I have 2 shades of these, but I think that they're so good. I would recommend them to you guys in basically every shade. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Look how pretty they are. They're shiny, they have decent pigmentation, they applied super evenly, the pigment was nice. I actually think that they last a decent amount of time. I would say I went to work one day and I want to say like 4 hours in, I was still like rubbing my lips together and I could still feel the lip product on. So I don't think they fade off fast either. So I took a little bit of a break and I was on the phone. You know, there's so many freaking things going on right now. I was telling you guys about the open enrollment, and one of the things that I was finding that like increased our premiums for our group health insurance was that a lot of people are using tier 2 drugs. And those are like drugs that have brand names, they're not generics. And I've been hearing a lot about generic drugs having a shortage in the US. And so a lot of people are having to switch to tier 2 drugs because there just isn't an availability of the generics. My daughter has been on ADHD medication for quite a while, since she was about 6 years old, which I was really opposed to in the beginning. But I noticed as a mother, I really had to make a decision about a stimulant that I did not want to give my little kid so that I could improve her quality of life. That was a decision that I made. I know we're getting into maybe a dicey topic, but we're just chit-chatting right now. I'm letting this concealer sit here. So I was just on the phone and the pharmacy tells me that they're totally out of her milligrams. So I'm like trying to get the psychiatrist to fill a prescription for a lower milligram, like by 10 milligrams, which she just switched to a higher milligram recently. So I feel like, you know, not having that additional 10 mils is probably just fine. And he got in 1 bottle and I'm trying to get my pharmacist to fill it because she is out of her medication. She did not take it today. So, but you know what? This is happening for people that are taking diabetic medication. The whole topic of Ozempic right now, which is being prescribed by physicians for weight loss, and people who were taking it as a life-saving drug aren't able to get it. Plus, there seems to have been like a ton of side effects. I haven't like fully educated myself on Ozempic, but this is just happening everywhere. My daughter has been on Vyvanse for, I want to say like 8 years at this point, and it was the only drug that really seemed to work for her. But of course they had a patent until like August 21st, 2023. So I'm hoping there's a generic that comes out pretty soon once that patent expires. But man, feeling like you have to fight to get your physician or your psychiatrist or whomever to get them to fill a prescription so you can be the one that gets the last bottle that arrived today is like terrifying. And this is not even a life-saving drug. I'm getting very passionate about this. It really bothers me that we're at this place. Not that we haven't been before. Diabetic medication has been extremely unaffordable forever, and I have seen documentaries about people going to Mexico to get the medication that they need because they can't afford it here in the United States. Bullshit. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. So I have had time, my point is, to let this sealer sit, and feelings still stand, you guys. Nothing necessarily smoothing about the concealer, but the longer it sits, the prettier it seems to look on my under eyes, which kind of tells me that it's melting in with my skin. It doesn't add additional texture to the under eyes. It seems to rise to the occasion, to the warmth of my skin, and it's already not creasing. I have been sitting up here, I've been filming for at least 30 minutes, and then I took like a 15-minute break off camera to let this sit here so that I could tell you guys there's no creasing. And I shrug my shoulders like this because that's such a big deal. I don't want a concealer that creases, and that's basically all that it has to do wrong, and I will not grab for that concealer again. I'm gonna say though, I don't think the shade range in this concealer is very good. They start with light peach. So, okay, it's a very peachy shade, and then it goes light warm, and then it goes light cool, but there's no neutral undertone in any of these shades. So it seems to have, I want to say, 3 different undertone families. You get peach, you get warm, and you get cool, but you don't get it across every single shade. And he doesn't start with fair. He starts with light on everything. So peach being one of the undertone families instead of a warm, cool, neutral, warm, cool, neutral, warm, cool, neutral. This is just throwing a peach in there. If it's a minimal coverage, sometimes you can get away with a variety of different undertones or limiting the undertones that you put out there. But for $29, I just say create as many shades in your concealer as you do your foundation. You guys tell me if you think differently, but starting off with light peach being the lightest shade, unless that's supposed to be what they consider fair, I don't know, it just seems a little bit off to me. But yeah, $29 and $46, it's such a huge difference. It's such a different amount of product, even though you need so much less when you're applying the concealer. I still feel like he should have done $22 to match his 22 shades. Bottom line is, you guys, there is absolutely no creasing. I can see this concealer doing its job, doing just what it needs to, giving you that medium coverage and meshing with the skin really nicely, not creasing. So it'll probably work for a variety of different skin types. I could see this being something that people with mature skin could easily wear because it's not gonna disturb the fine lines that you have under your under eyes or make enemies with them. I could also see this working on really dry skin types because I tend to have pretty dry under eyes, even though I get really combo in the center of my face. But it doesn't seem to have a significant amount of radiance, meaning that I feel like oily skin people couldn't use it. I do think that they probably could. So I do find that this concealer doesn't lean one way or the other too strikingly enough to not work across a multitude of different skin types. And that's pretty much the bottom line of it. I can already tell you that I'm gonna reach for this again. It wasn't a concealer that I immediately regret purchasing. Do you guys ever do that? You have such high hopes for a concealer or a foundation, and then the very first time you wear them, they do something adverse, especially sinking into fine lines under your under eye, or just immediately looking super dry, and then you're super disappointed. I only have to test a concealer once to know it's not gonna work. I might have to test a concealer many times to know how well it's going to work, but never many times to find that it's not gonna work. So I can already tell you that I like it. If you guys have a similar skin type as me, I think you would enjoy this. If you're a fan of Makeup by Mario, I don't think you would regret buying this concealer if you're okay with the $29 price tag. That is it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my rant, and I hope you guys are excited about the upcoming videos that I have, and I hope that if you're not a current subscriber, you consider subscribing so you stick around if you're interested in seeing some of the videos that I have upcoming. I'm out of here for today, you guys. I'm gonna take my cripple self and climb back in bed, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye, guys.